Hello, Team video. Today we're going to take a look at Shadow Luxray in the Ultra League Premier Classic Cup here. This Pokemon got a big boost in terms of rating, at least on Pvpoke. I think it's like rank 17 or something like this, as it now has access to in general, the Shadow form and also, of course, Psychic Fangs. And I kind of want to take a look at this team here and how it performs. And first few games I was like, I don't really think this works, and afterwards I actually went on a pretty good streak. Like, this team worked out pretty well then. You just have to really get used to it, to be honest. Like, Luxray is not a Pokemon where you can just go ahead, play it once and you're fine. It's a little bit tricky as you are pretty squishy and you kind of have to know how the opponent is going to react. And a lot of times my opponents didn't really want to shield my moves and I still baited them, and then it's kind of awkward, to be honest, but yeah. Let's take a look at this game here. As we can see, they swapped into their Trevenant, and let's hope that they are not surviving this seed bump here, and hopefully we can farm them down, and of course we can't. I think if I went to one more fast move and a 1 CMP, which was pretty likely that I would win CMP, I think, I might have been able to still win this game, but even then I don't really think I would be able to win this game. So first game, first loss. Fine, still it doesn't mean anything, as we see in Alolan Muck in the lead. Actually interesting to see someone running the Snarl version here, because Snarl is something that you don't really see recently anymore. Poison Jab definitely got a little bit more common here, as we see a Surf Edge coming in. And I think I actually remember this game. This was also kind of interesting, to be honest. Let's take a look at this one. We can see that they're going to go ahead and go for a Night Slash here. We still survive it. We can go for a move here. If they run Night Slash, it basically means that they run the Leaf Blade as the other move, and we don't really have to be worried too much about a potential Brave Bird here anymore. Let's see what they're going to go for now. Like, this is basically my Luck and Go Battle League. Like, I literally couldn't believe it, but at least the backline still is kind of decent. I make a huge mistake here by not going straight for the Poison Fang, by the way. Poison Fang, Psychic Fangs here. As I thought, okay, maybe they want to swap out somewhere. I don't really want to throw into the Muck, but now I can farm them down. I can go for one Psychic Fangs here, and I can go for another one, and I will be able to pretty easily win this game. And again, I baited way too much. They never really shielded against me. Next opponent has basically the worst possible lead for me, which is going to be Trevenant, as both of my Pokemon in the back are kind of neutral against this Pokemon. We're going to be able to hit, of course, into the wrong Pokemon here. Very nice, all working out so well for me, but trust me, it's getting better over time. I had a very good games with this team later on, and I also had like, I think 2 4-1s with this team, which was kind of nice. So yeah, we see here that we shield up the correct move, but it's still kind of awkward as we are really far behind. They caught our move, they have a better lead, and against their lead, like, it's kind of difficult to play against. As we see a Nidoqueen coming in, which is pretty decent for us, as we can go ahead and go for some Psychic Fangs here. Should do some pretty nice damage, and the Poison Fang we will be able to survive. Also, did you know that it's Poison Fang but Psychic Fangs? I don't know why, but it's a very big inconsistency in Pokemon, or like in general, yeah. Pokemon Fang moves, some are Fangs, some are Fangs. I don't know where like the difference is in between there, but it's Psychic Fangs, while it is also, for example, Fire Fang, but it's not Fire Fangs. I don't know. Just a trivia thing. As we can go for an Icicle Spear here, and as we can just forfeit, as my opponent would have won this game anyway. Next opponent, we have a Dragonite in the lead. Let's see what we can do here. What I've noticed with Dragonite is that a lot of them don't know the counts. And so I should go for the Wild Charge. And I always basically do it wrong here and bait. So what I should do in the future, definitely try and not bait all the time. I'm gonna go ahead and try to bait now, because I kinda need to get some kind of advantage here. And I should have swapped out earlier already into my what's called Trevenant, because a Trevenant going to actually be able to resist all the charge moves that this Pokemon can throw at you, unless they run Outrage, which is kind of outrageous if they would do that. We can see here that we can go for one Seed Bomb, trying to get this thing low, getting this thing into range for another Seed Bomb, which is definitely what we want to do. And we can go ahead and swap into our Walrein. Shadow Walrein can farm this Dragonite. Please don't be a superpower. It's not a superpower, it's just a normal Dragon Claw, which now allows us to go for another Icicle Spear into the incoming Snorlax here, which should hopefully go down from this, and we will not be greeted by another superpower here, as we see an Empoleon coming in. And because I didn't overfarm, we are still going to lose this battle here. This is basically how it started. There is nothing cut off from this footage here. But I think this was like the last game where I was like, okay, does this team actually work? Because it kind of doesn't look like it. It's getting better now, definitely. We see the next opponent now coming in. We see the Luxray against Lapras. A very good lead for us. Of course, again, I'm not sure if they know our accounts. I'm not sure if they want to shield anything. We get to our first wild charge at the same time as they go for one surf here, which is okay for us as we can go ahead and go for the wild charge now. Do they shield it? Come on, like, no, they will never shield, and they don't shield. Bye bye Lapras. In comes an S-Calf. What can we do for you? We can go for another wild charge, and now it's getting interesting here, as you can see, as we can now go into our Warren against the incoming Crobat, and we completely destroyed them. A lot of teams are very weak to electric. I might want to take a look at some more electric type Pokemons later on. We have to see. As we can go for one Icicle Spear here against this Crobat and go for another one, trying to get the final shield here. I don't really want to shield my Warren anymore, so I'm just going to let this move go through. We still survive it, but they can actually farm me down here, which I didn't expect that they could do this in time. It doesn't really matter too much. We can still let this move go through, as it's definitely a Poison Fang, and we can farm them all the way down, which allows us now to just go for the farm down against the S-Calf as well. We still have a shield left, and this is going to be it. Did we learn from our mistake from the Dragonite earlier? Let's see. We see another Dragonite in the lead. It's another normal Dragonite. We can go now straight for the wild charge. Do they know our accounts? Do they not know our accounts? They don't know our accounts, and bye-bye Dragonite. And this is something that I just wanted to showcase with this video as well. You kind of have to get used to some new Pokemon as well. Like, you don't know how to play them immediately anyway. So getting basically some experience and some losses in the beginning is normal, and you shouldn't throw away teams immediately. At least if you feel like that this team, or like in general, like your Pokemon, can still work. And I kind of felt this, so I kind of didn't want to drop my team here. And it worked out pretty well for me at the end. I actually gained a lot of elo with this team. I think I actually ended up again over 2600, which is nice, as we can now go for some more charge moves here. We're going to shield up this move there, shield this as well. We can outspeed them to the next charge move. Go for one Icicle Spear here and KO these Snorlax. Well, we can swap out and go for one Shadow Ball, winning us the game here. Good game to my opponent. As we see the next one coming in, we see an Heracross in the lead. Pretty decent-ish lead. Actually, I think I should have went for the wild charge again here. Again, I just bait a little bit too much. This is the safest play that I can go for because, of course, it's super effective. But I think a wild charge would have maybe even completely one-shot this Pokemon. As we see a Mug coming in, I maybe should have swapped out immediately into my Warren here. But actually, now that we didn't bait, this move did a ton of damage, and we can most likely farm this thing all the way down, but I was wrong. They can still get to a move, and I just risk it's an acid spray, and it was an acid spray. So we're going to be able to now hit 2 fast moves, or like 2 charge moves against this Heracross, which will KO that, or get like both shields, which we will see what they want to do here. We go for the next one here, and they're actually going to let this one go through. We see a Warren coming in, and I make a huge mistake here. Why did I swap out here? I'm not 100% sure. I'm just giving my opponent a lot of farm at this point of time. I thought I would still get to like a wild charge. Now I got him like debuffed, but my Warren is in range for one Earthquake, and if they overfarmed a little bit, I'm screwed here. Because my Trevenant, of course, doesn't really want to face any Ice-type move, and they get to their Ice-type moves at the exact same time as I can get to my Seed Bomb. So if they overfarm by just one, I am kind of screwed, as they can go for another Icicle Spear, and it doesn't KO me. So we're still going to be able to win this game here. Still kind of close. Maybe I should have played it a little bit differently, but still a good game to my opponent. Next opponent we're going to see here is Steelix in the lead. This is basically impossible if you don't get back switch advantage here, and if you cannot get back switch advantage here like with this Ampharos, it's going to be a little bit tough. By the way, if you ask yourself, okay, what is now your say swap for this team? Do you say swap the Warren? Do you say swap the Trevenant? It really depends on what kind of Pokemon you face in the lead. If you face something where the Trevenant is better against, go into the Warren. Then if you face something where the Warren is better against, go into the Trevenant first. Basically how this works, both of them are pretty decent as a say swap, and the main idea behind this team is anyway usually to stay in a little bit with the Luxray, trying to get some kind of advantage, either shield from the pressure of Wild Charge or like switch advantage even with the Psychic Fang debuffs. But like this, we have basically no chance, as you're going to see that this team going to be a perfect hard wall to my team. Yay, we see a Dragonite coming in, and there is not a lot that I can do here anymore, so we just going to skip forward. Next opponent having a Machamp in the lead. This is kinda awkward to be honest, because Machamp can be a little bit of a problem here, as it's kinda breaking the Luxray plus Warring Core. But we're actually going to be able to get one shield here, and just because it's so annoying for my Warring, I'm going to try to go for another move here, trying to get this thing a little bit lower, and we will be able to get the final shield as well, as we can go into our Trevenant and going to let this move go through, which actually going to be a bait for whatever reason. And they go into their Gallade, and they go out of their Gallade, because one Shadow Ball completely destroys this Pokemon. Bye bye you. As we see now the final Pokemon coming in, which is going to be Staraptor, which is amazing for our Warrain, as finally Warrain gets aligned against the perfect Pokemon for itself, and we can now actually shield this move up because it literally doesn't matter, and I can go for one charge move here, and we will be able to win the game. They actually forfeit already, and this is going to be a very good game. Next opponent having an Obstagoon in the lead. This kinda is a little bit tough to be honest with this team. Of course, Obstagoon is basically the only core breaker for your backline here, which is going to be a little bit tricky. So we have to shield bait of course and try to get the bait correctly, but they are literally not trying to do anything like this. And yeah, again, trying to bait the correct move, trying to shield the correct move, it's kinda tough to be honest, as we see a Nidoqueen coming in. At least we can counter this with our Warrain, and we can hopefully farm it down. Unless they have like Stone Edge Nidoqueen, we should be pretty fine here with taking one move. So of course it's going to be Stone Edge Nidoqueen. Like, what are the chances? I don't want to know, but yeah, this was the only Stone Edge version I've ever seen so far, and this was of course against my Warrain, so very nice. And now it's basically impossible to still win this game, as you're going to see that they're going to have their own Trevenant in the back, and they can just farm me down, and so we also going to go away here. At least with this team, those battles are very fast, as we also see some nice reconnection again. We see the Lapras matchup again, as we can now go ahead, shield the Surf up, and we see a Sylveon coming in. We actually should have went for the other Fang move, to be honest. We should have went for the Psychic Fangs here, but it's fine. We can now go ahead and go into our Warrain, trying to get some advantage here, as we can go ahead, go for one Icicle Spear, and we can go for another one, but it's actually a CMP tie, and I don't really want to go shields down, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to farm it all the way down with our Trevenant. Trevenant going to be able to get a lot of energy here now, and unless they have a good answer in the back, we should be pretty fine here. It's going to be the Lapras again. Lapras doesn't really want to face two Seed Bombs here, so we should be pretty fine, as this will KO the opponent, and Surf doesn't do as much damage. And let's see what they have in the back. It's going to be a Dragonite. We can go straight for the Shadow Ball. We are not joking around here, we just go straight for the nuke and go now for the Psychic Fangs, trying to farm them all the way down afterwards, and we should be in a pretty decent spot at this point of time, as we can now just shield up their charge move and go ahead and farm them down. Good game there, and we can now go also into the final game of this video, which going to have Golisopod. Golisopod is actually another core breaker from the backline, to be honest, as they go ahead, go into a Warrain, and guess what? Of course, they don't want to shield here. Like, why? Like, literally, it's so risky. But yeah, we can just go ahead and try to learn from our mistakes and go straight for a Wild Charge, and it actually helps, which is very nice. And now they're going to go back into the Golisopod most likely, and we can threaten them now with these Psychic Fangs, hopefully trying to get the shield here or to do some damage, because we kind of have to get rid of this Pokemon. And because we kind of have to get rid of him, we're just going to shield this move up as well. That charge move damage is basically nothing against my Warbrain. We have some lag here. It's fine though, because I can still go for one charge move here. And we will be able to have switch advantage by this now, and we are not locked into any Pokemon. Can go into our Trevenant first, and we see an Excadrill in the back. Excadrill is actually a very good mole Pokemon here, as this thing kinda is the G-Fisk of this league, and a lot of people don't really expect this Pokemon. Very good against something like a Dragonite, very good against a lot of good meta Pokemon, like also this one here, the Trevenant. You're going to be able to do a lot of damage with it, but it didn't help them. We can swap into our Warrain, and we will be able to now farm him down and win this game. So, Thanks for watching. This team was a lot of fun. You have to get used to it first, but then it's actually working pretty well. And this is going to be it for the video. Thanks for watching. See you next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.